Can't separate the top two sides in the old Premier League as both Manchester City and Liverpool win their respective games. But in this bumper episode of the old predictions, who's going to come out on top at the end of the week? We'll talk about all the games next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video, this time looking forward to a whole busy old week of fixtures, including matchday number 36, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe, bang up to date with all things Premier League related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related, we're going to all here under one roof. Now, before we take a look at the whole cluster of them, including last week's predictions, I want a big shout out to two very special viewers out there, Ben Haywood and John Spun, who have become the two brand new Patreons for the channel at Blackburn Overseas. If you are interested in joining the illustrious club that is the old Blackburn Overseas Patreons, there is a link to the page in the old description down below. There are 3 tiers that you could participate in. There is the academy level, there is the starter, there is a first team squad, and of course a starting 11. Each offer their own perks and privileges as a Patreon for Blackburn Overseas. I am trying to improve the content into the next season, looking at doing more predictions, including the Championship, of course staying with the Premier League, but there are other things I'd like to do, and that does require more equipment, better equipment. My poor laptop has been going through the mill recently, and the display is out. I'm actually have to make sure it's connected to a monitor. But anyway, that's enough harping on about. But if you are interested in, and if you feel like this is something that you could contribute to, check out the description. Have a good old look at the old Patreon page, and it'll give you a little bit more detail about it. But anyway, let's plough on forward and take a look back at last weekend's matches in the Premier League, and then we'll take a look at some new ones just around the corner. Well, kicking it off, it was Manchester City up against Tottenham. Obviously, we were spoilt with the old Champions League match between these two earlier in the week. And these actually predictions were made prior to that game. But it was a 1-0 win, a squeaky bum 1-0 win for Manchester City. They didn't convince me that much that they're going to walk away with it, but I actually saw it was a 3-1 win in favour of Manchester City. So yeah, got the right result. Huddersfield took on Watford, and Watford picked up a 2-1 win away from home, big one for them. I actually saw it was a 2-0 win going in favour of Huddersfield. I thought obviously they could just play with some freedom now that they're officially doomed, but no. West Ham United took on Leicester City, and that ended as a 2-2 draw. Just one more goal than what I predicted. I actually saw it as a 2-1 win going in favour of Leicester City. So Leicester City remain in good form as well. Just the one loss out of the past 6 for them. Same deal for West Ham. Well, their form book is absolutely horrific. Just 1 win out of 6. Bournemouth took on Fulham, and again, Fulham make it back-to-back wins for them. First time, probably all season, over Bournemouth. Where was this form earlier in the season? Maybe some positive signs for the old stand-in manager, Scott Parker. I actually saw it as a 2-0 win going in favour of Fulham as well. So, yep, I called it, folks. I called it. Wolves took on Brighton. That was a bore draw as well, 0-0. Not many goals so far in the old Premier League last time out. I actually saw it as a 3-1 win going in favour of Wolves. Wolves are a hot and cold side. You just don't know what you're going to get. But that point for Brighton could be massive. They also have a game in hand over Cardiff as well, and they'll be playing that game in hand against Tottenham this match day coming up. Newcastle United took on Southampton, and the Toon put on a nice 3-1 win to push them up to 13th spot. Top 10 looks just out of reach, but they could go as high as 11th this match day as well. Actually, saw it was a 2-1 win going in favour of the Toon as well. Everton took on Manchester United, and boy, oh boy, what a display Everton did, and what a shambles Manchester United look like at the moment. Complete cluster smudge, for wanting of a better word. And it's been like this for a few games now. Manchester United's form is pretty ropey. 3 wins, 3 losses out of the past 6 games. That's just Premier League talking as well. We're not talking about Champions League. But they look ropey. They got a massive game this week to decide. They got 2 massive games as well. They could lose both of them. They could go to free fall. And at the moment, they are still 3 points off of Champions League spots. It's very tight though. But they do have a game in hand, just like Arsenal over Chelsea. Anyway, I actually saw it as a 2-2 draw, so I got the right amount of goals. I just didn't distribute them all over the place. Cardiff took on Liverpool, and again, Liverpool putting on a business-like performance, 2-0 winners over relegating threat in Cardiff, who we have how many points left on the table? They have 9 points off the table. left. So realistically, Burnley could go down, but they won't. Their goal difference is superior. I actually saw it was a 3-1 win in favour of Liverpool. Arsenal took on Crystal Palace. I got the right amount of goals, I got the right scoreline, but I got the right direction. No, I didn't. Crystal Palace 3-2 winners over the Gunners at home for Arsenal. Shocker, this one. I actually saw a 3-2 going the other way. So Arsenal, again, their form is a little bit ropey as well. 2 defeats out of the past 3 games. Chelsea took on Burnley. Them 6-finger. Now, I'll tell you in a second. But Chelsea took on Burnley. And look at this, though. An impressive 2-2 draw for them 6-fingered banjo-playing weirdos. Burnley and Chelsea 2-2 now. And that remains in 4th spot, I think. I think Sarri's future will depend on where they finish in the league and if they win the Europa Cup. If they can get Champions League football next season, he might stick around. But it's definitely out of his hands. Anyway, like I said, the matchday 36 around the corner. But until then, we have some catch-up games to play. So this is a double bubble, boys and girls. We're going to look at... We're going to look at these as well as the Matchday 36 in one episode. So this is an extended edition. Watford will be taking on Southampton this weekend. So we're going to predict this one. So Watford will be taking on Southampton during the old midweek crunch clashes. Watford coming to this in 8th spot, looking to finish as high as 7th. I don't think there's no way they can get as high as 6th. But they're on level on points with Everton, who are in 7th. A goal difference separates the two sides at the moment. Up against the Southampton side, who are in 16th spot. Still have a little bit of relegation fears on their shoulder. And a win this midweek will eradicate those, I think. But I think FA Cup finalists Watford will come out on top with a 2-1 win over the Saints. And that would put them into 7th on their own merit. Tottenham will take on Brighton as well. Brighton relegation threatened as well. Tottenham need to keep up the pace as well if they want Champions League football. I know they've got Champions League semi-final on their hands, but they need to take care of their bread and butter first, and that is league position. And again, they will win at their Fancy Pants new stadium, 3-0 winners over Brighton. And that will give them a boost as they try to secure Champions League football for next season. Wolves will take on Arsenal. And again, you just don't know what you're going to get with Wolves. They play really well against the big boys. They play really well at Molineux. Up against the Arsenal side, who've lost 2 out of 3. I've already mentioned that already. I think Wolves will upset the apple cart here and push Arsenal in a bit of a sticky situation. 3-1 winners in favour of Wolves at Molineux. Now, here we go. Now, this is a nervy situation for Liverpool. It's a nervy situation for Manchester City, and it's a very nervy situation for Manchester United because this game is massive, absolutely massive. Massive for Manchester City's title ambitions, massive for Liverpool's titles ambitions, massive for Manchester United's Champions League ambitions. Man United need to win this because if they don't, they are not getting Champions League football. And they could also fall into a category of nothing. No Europe whatsoever. They've got no Europa League to play. They've got no Champions League left to play. They've got no cup games left to play. This is their biggest game of the season. They'll have another big one on Saturday against Chelsea, but this is the big one. And up against the Manchester City side, who are going for the title, they're trying to do a treble. Obviously, they're knocked out Champions League, so this is their big bad boy. They want to regain the title, and Liverpool will be looking at this, thinking this is it. But I don't know. I don't know if this is it. I think Manchester City can win this. And still Liverpool will win the title. And we'll explain that in a second. Because I do think Manchester City will absolutely run riot on Manchester United. Manchester United look absolutely lost at the moment. Completely clueless. The game against Everton, shambles. The game against Barcelona, complete shambles. They just look lost, no threat. This is the chance for them to step up. They need to come here and respond, but I just don't see it happening. I think they will get battered at their own place as well. And I think Manchester City will win this. They'll go top, and they'll go top by 1 point. So 3-0 win. I'm going with Manchester City. Anyway, let's kick it off further to matchday 36 with the whole Premier League roster playing. Liverpool will be taking on Huddersfield, and they will win. They will absolutely run riot on Huddersfield. 4-0 winners. And then, in theory, for that game, they will go back to the top. Again, they would have played a game more. Tottenham will go against West Ham United. And again, back at their Fancy Pants new stadium. Tottenham look good at the moment. Look very good. We're even playing through the pain barrier of having Harry Kane out and some other key players missing. So Tottenham will win. They'll continue their impressive home form. Crystal Palace will take on Everton this weekend. Crystal Palace coming to 12th spot at the moment. Everton in 7th. Difficult one to call this one because you don't know what you're going to get with Crystal Palace. 3 wins, 3 defeats at the past 6 games. Up against the Everton side, who have just lost 1 in 5. They've really turned the corner at the moment. So 2-0 away win for Everton to boost their 7th spot position. Fulham will take on Cardiff. Big crunch game, this one at the bottom of the table. Obviously, Fulham doomed already. Cardiff need to win this one. Obviously, they lost against Liverpool last time out. I see them squeaking past with a 2-1 win away from home for Cardiff, and that'll give them a chance. It will at least preserve their Premier League status for another week. Southampton will take on Bournemouth as well. Crunch clash, bit of a derby as well, this one. Southampton in 16th spot, Bournemouth are in 14th. Bournemouth coming to this 3 defeats out of the past 4, as for Southampton, 2 defeats out of the past 3. Tight one to call this one, but I'm going to edge it with the Saints. 3-2 winners at home. Watford will take on Wolves, battle of the W's, and it is a repeat of the FA Cup semi-final, and Watford will do the double of them. 2-0 winners at Vicarage Road. Got a soft spot for Vicarage Road and the Hornets. 2-0 winners for Watford, and again, that will probably push them back into 7th spot if the prediction, the old midweek, goes my way. Brighton will take on Newcastle. Brighton need a win at home against the 2. Now, the Newcastle come into this 2 defeats of the past 6. Brighton come into this, haven't won a game in 5. Difficult one, and I see them squeaking past a 2-1 win against the 2 at the Amex, and that will probably they do have in fact, by the time this game comes around and the result, everybody on 36 matches with 2 games left, so it'll still be on the cards. Leicester will take on Arsenal, and Arsenal just can't get a win. I see them with a 2-2 draw against Leicester City, or a decent side. Now, this is it here. This is where Liverpool will get their upper hand in the title race. It will be Burnley, them 6-fingered freakazoids, them mongoloids, them scandalous freaks. They make Turdmore a weird place to go, a very intimidating place to go, because you don't know. You might come accosting a 6-fingered freakazoid in the toilets. You just don't know what's going to go on in Turdmore, and that's why Manchester City will choke. They will choke at this game, believe it or not, against my bitter rivals, Freakazoid Burnley FC. They will hold them 2-2 draw, and that will open up the door for Liverpool. I'm calling it right here, right now. And then wrap it up the weekend. Manchester United will get that result that they've been looking for. They've been craving. That will get them possibly back into the old Champions League reckoning. And they will beat Chelsea at the Theatre of Dreams, 2-1 winners. It won't be a stellar performance, but it'll be just enough to maybe get them back into the reckoning for the Champions League next season. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a good old thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe. Keep you bang up to date with all things Premier League related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related. We're going to all here under one roof. And before we let you get out of here, make sure you check out the old links in the old description down below to the old Twitter, Facebook, and of course the hotly released Patreon page, boys and girls. If you feel like you want to become an exclusive member of the Patreon gang and support the channel in another capacity, check that sucker out. There are 3 tiers. There is the starting 11, which is the elite, the first team squad, and then there is the academy. They all come with their own perks and privileges. It is hotly released. Looking at you guys. Hopefully you might want to jump in and support the channel in another way. And also, before you go, want to hear your own predictions down in the comment section down below, what you'll think will happen in the old bumper midweek games, and of course match day number 36 on the old weekend. Until then, thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.